Welcome back, everyone. So this is pretty much the best spot for pretty much early game slash late game for early access. Most likely the best spot all around, even after everything's fully released and all that. Now I'll probably say at the end about essentially why I haven't been doing videos for the last, since Ground being released, but as I'll get to that in a minute. Anyway. So, why this is the best spot, don't worry about them, we'll get that in a minute. So, anyway, food and water. You pretty much got a really good supply of food and water here. I didn't actually realize this at first, but it is actually reasonably good. So, for one, actually, with all the grass around here, so you will get a whole heap of water drops. I can pretty much show, if we have dew drops. So we don't have too many right now, but that's all right. So we've got a few around the spot where you can actually see where all the wolf spiders are if you want to avoid them early game. Don't want to be messing with them. But as is, yes, that's where the dew drops are. So you've got a pretty good amount. If you have a few people, it's kind of going to be harder in a way, but not too difficult. But as is, yes, the water comes from that. I will say, I don't 100% know what side. I don't know if it's that. I think it's that side, perhaps, because there is normally a water drop. There it is. So we got one, and then we got two. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there we go. So we've got 5 drops there. So you've got one of two options. You can put down a... where are they? One of these, a water container around here somewhere. I don't really worry about it, as is personally, because we've got the dew collector things down there. But they'll either drip there, or they might slide down just here and come literally just... Usually, depending on it, they will hit this rock. Now, with early access, things have changed. This used to be a big rock. I was actually going to build a base. I did see somebody's video before... This got changed, and they had a base up there. We got a lot of ladybugs around here. Might have to deal with them soon, get some more parts. But yes, as is, the rock was also about here. So they really did dip down this rock a whole heap, sort of thing, unfortunately. So I didn't actually really worry about doing anything with the walls. What I also noticed was over here, this has dipped down, and this was already here, so you can sort of see there how far they've essentially used to be in the ground. So they've pushed a few things around here fairly far into the ground. Well, the ground sort of deeper in. So that's just as is one thing to note is if you did get in playing it on the first day, you'll notice as stuff like that did get changed. I'm getting off topic already. Anyway, so yes, as there's plenty of food and water, as I've sort of about water, there is lots of aphids and weevils. Every so often, you actually get a few weevils and aphids come through here. Now, if you do unlock these, I think you unlock these reasonably early, spike strips, you put these all through your access points, you'll have an AFK farm pretty much. The aphids and weevils will come through here. They'll essentially cark it on the first... I think usually first or second go, you might want to put 2 to 3 rows, depending on it. But as is, you'll essentially get infinite food there. Now, other good thing here, they may not show stuff building here, but you'll normally get mushrooms around here, and it's really good for clover leaves. So that's another good thing, is building resources, but again, we'll get into that in a minute. Over this way, I'll bring the bug over here. Unfortunately, it's getting night time, but that's not too bad. So if you go back over here, so this is sort of where you come from after you start the game. Is over here, so as we've got plenty of... I'm about to be attacked. Possibly. That's something you have to worry out for. But as there's plenty of loose mushrooms that you can get a good feed off. There's about, what have we got, 3 gnats there at the moment. There's about 3 to 4. Depending on it, you might get about 3 to 4 of them. Now, just note of food. When you are doing that, you can if you play Grounded, the first Ground, you can make stuff like this. Now, it can either be a grub, a gnat, a weevil, or a grub. I think that's all of them. Yeah, grub, weevil, gnats, aphids. They're all counted as harmless, essentially, creatures. So, if you make a stuffed one, they're essentially, you'll get a bonus. You can see I've actually got a bonus at the moment. Luck harmless. So, as is, obtain more resources. Great things with the gnats is you can actually get like bits from like hot dogs and all sorts of stuff like that. I can actually show right now. Whoop. Don't worry about that. I did put that there specifically for when I jump down from my little room. I can do stuff there. So up here, the bits. You don't get a lot exactly, but you know, you get apple bits. You won't get fresh, but you will get bits and pieces from them. We don't have any more jerky there. But yes, as is essentially, you'll get bits and pieces from them, which is obviously really great for that reason. Those don't spoil, so if you're actually really bad for food, you can grab one of those. So they're like an emergency food, which is obviously great. But as is, yes, in general, just a whole heap of gnats. There is a whole heap, and I mean a whole heap of grubs around here. This is essentially like the giant tree for Grounded 1. They're just everywhere, and they usually, I don't know, I feel like they kind of reset nearly every day you sleep sort of thing. So as is, all in all, it's amazing how much food and water you can actually get here. And as is, these come really easily. Do note as well, if you are just starting, if you've got a full bar like I've got there, do not sleep. And I actually won't show you exactly why, but pretty much they'll go down to almost nothing. So you don't want to eat and drink before bed. It won't fill up, but essentially, yeah, you don't want to have, if your bar's full, don't sleep, because that will, as is, it'll just make you use more resources. Anyway, so talking about resources. So as is, actually, yes, you've got plenty of grass for the early game. You've also, now you won't be able to harvest these at first, but there was one there. Well, there we go. We've got another one there. Which is right here, is the dandelion. Now, obviously, that will give you your dandelion tufts, so when you're falling in that, obviously you've got something there to use, sort of thing, and you'll be able to get the stems. So you should be able to work something out reasonably early. These pine doors, I think you need the tier 2 axe. I kind of think they're pretty cool. They're pretty nice to use. If anyone is wondering as well, I don't know if I mentioned it. Actually, yeah. So yeah, as is, I was playing on a shed world with a friend, but it crashed and the world save was corrupted. So I essentially had to make this a multiplayer world instead of a shared world, so we can get on whenever, sort of thing. So unfortunately, I'm only able to get on, sort of thing. So hopefully, once all those bugs are fixed, I'll be able to hopefully start a new world and make it a shared world, or and make a copy of this and make it into a shared world or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. I got distracted again. So yeah, as is, plenty of resources for, as is, an actually early game. As is, yes, a few things here. You still have to get the higher tier axes, but again, they're not too difficult to unlock. You're also very close to where you can get your first buggies. I will say, oddly enough, people were already making guides on how to get them, and it's like, it's probably within the first hour of the main quest, I'd probably have to say, roughly. I don't know, something like that. So, yeah, they're not very complicated. It's not like the spider one. I will kind of say, to get the spider, you've got to kind of finish what we have technically as the end game. I'm not going to spoil that. But that's the only way to get the spider. Now, that's a useful thing to make a video on. But yes, as is, making videos on stuff you get early on, I don't know. I will say I kind of was, but then I saw how easy it was, and I thought, no use doing that. So there we go. We got 2 snack packs right there. great little things. They yeah, if you actually unlock the cooker, they're Weevil, not Weevil, aphids. Can actually quickly show that as well. There we are. So yeah, the meatloaf aphids. You can make a little snack pack out of them. As is the mite fuzz. That's another thing. Actually, I will talk about in a minute. So as is talk about the resources. So for combat / enemies. So as you've seen, there is a few ladybugs, but there is pre down that way. Yeah, pre down that way. There are about 5 to 6 lawn mites. Now, you need to take out about 200 enemies. Now, they have to fight back, so you don't go around going hunting down all the weevils you can. They've got to fight back, but seeing those are so low health, you can actually level up your skills really quickly and easily with them. So, as is for... I mean, again, it's meant to be... I feel like it has to be like a beginner zone, because I think this is like the first station sort of thing you get at in Grounded, in the first Grounded. I think some people built near the what's it called? The baseball in the first game. I can't remember where I normally build in the first game. I think I normally build near the pond, actually, or build a little bit of something near the first station. But yes, as is naturally, yes, with this, as is with what we've got here, everything is perfect for early game. As I sort of said then, yes, as we've got the bugs, easy enemies to deal with. Now, just take of note, do not, and I repeat, do not go after the snails, because we do not have a tier 3 axe, hammer, or shovel yet. So, I have read online, some people did it. We kind of did as well. We killed a couple snails, and their shells shall remain. That's a tongue twister. But yeah, I read somewhere someone ended up killing like 5 or 10 of them in their base, and now their shells are just stuck there until I think another 2, 3. I think it's either I don't know exactly. I can't remember off the roadmap when we're getting tier 3 stuff. It might be after like the second major update, the second major season update or something. But yes, essentially some people have garden snail shells stuck in their base. So yeah, don't go around killing garden snails near or in your base. That's, I think, is more or less about all. As well, yes, well, as this range station, we can scan stuff. I think I did say that already. I will say I don't have these written down exactly as just basic tips that I can sort of remember. And that for that reason, as is, it's more or less things I found out. Anyway, so talking about what I was going to talk about at the beginning, a couple things. There's a few things I've thought of that were actually kind of in the roadmap, but I will kind of still talk about those in a video because I've still my own ideas. That crow. There we go. Now it landed. There's a few things like that, just like that with the crow, where they're flying in midair. It's weird. But yes, as there's a few videos I'm going to be doing about some stuff as I'd like to add it to Grounded. As is, for anyone as well wondering, zip lines aren't going to be until like I think winter, which will be like essentially I don't know, like it's winter for me now currently, but essentially another 2 season changes we might get zip lines, which for people saying they want zip lines, I don't exactly know on Grounded 1, but like yes, I'm quite sure you didn't have zip lines at first, but again, with the buggy system, I think that's why they're going to possibly add flyers, so zip lines might become obsolete, sort of thing for that. I mean, again, I do like the zip lines. I always liked having the acorn tree thing as like the main travel hub sort of thing. I was going to do that here. Funnily enough, actually looking at the map, I was wondering if this is stuff we actually unlock later in the game, but I didn't realize that this is like all under construction. So my idea personally would be for a main... Well, this is like 1/4 of the thing, so I would end up having a main hub of transport about here sort of thing. But anyway, as this, that's for later stuff. So yes, as this, friend finish it off. The reason why I didn't get to do the video straight away is essentially I've still got a bit of a cough, but about a day or two after Grounded came out, I was going to start doing videos, and I got sick, had the runny nose, sore throat, coughing, all that stuff. Finally got rid of the runny nose, and me sore throat was going down, the coughing was going down, and then the next day, it just, yeah, throat, I say I could have had tonsillitis or something, because, yeah, me throat was very sore. I couldn't even string a sentence together without coughing. I'm worried about what's moving in the grass over there. I said those could be ladybugs. But yes, as is, I essentially couldn't string a sentence together without coughing and that. And yeah, as is, it was really horrible. I was, ribs and everything was starting to hurt because that's how much I was actually, I will say, I was coughing that bad that at time, in the back of my throat, it's, you could essentially see blood. It looked like if you, best way to explain it is if you're in the shower and you scratch your stomach or something a little bit and you start getting all red and like splotchy, that's essentially what it looked like. So yeah, I was essentially coughing at the point where I was very close to actually coughing blood because yeah, it was horrendous. But yes, that's all finished up now more or less. But as I do still cough a little bit, but as this, I can do a video because I can edit out the ever so often cough, but yes, live streaming, because I will say I was going to do Elden Rings, but that's going to have to be put on the back burner for now until I do stop coughing sort of thing, because it might be every 10 minutes, if I'm like talking like this so straight, it might be every, say, 5 to 10 minutes, I'll have a bit of a cough, as it's nowhere near as bad as I was, but yeah, not fun. I can't remember what else I was going to say, but yes, as is, there's a few videos I'd like to, for things I'd like to see. There is one idea I do have, I will just say, is about wingsuits, or like something like that. So obviously, I think we can all agree that the Dandelion Tufts are fine early game, but they are an absolute pain. And obviously, with all the bugs and stuff we have, surely enough, we could make a wingsuit. Even if that's like late game or mid game to get something like that. Because one thing I find annoying is I put a Dandelion Tuft in one of those boxes. I have this Dandelion Tuft hot boxed, or hot pocked, what it's called. No, that's, no. Which is it? Like that. I did have one like that. It still chucked it into the box. So yes, as is, and then I forget about that, and then it's in a different box altogether, and then I go do something, I jump off something, and yeah, I go splat. So yes, it's something where a wingsuit would be great, because we've got a slot for the trinket, so something in between the head and the body could be a slot for a wingsuit. I mean, hell, even if a trinket sort of thing, but anyway, I'll get to that in that video. There was one other thing I was going to talk about, but I can't remember, and that. But yes. Anyway, as is, hope everyone has enjoyed. As is, yes, a few ground things will be coming out soon, and that's as is a few ideas I've got. As is on some things. As is hopefully that do get added. And I will say, with the way Grounded 2's going, this actually could be technically one of the best survival games out there. But I will also just say, for finishing up, people online whinging about having to eat and drink so much in Grounded, you've obviously never played a survival game, because that's like the main thing. You eat and you have to eat and drink and survive. That's henceforth survival games. I will say that really annoys me, seeing online people whinging about, oh my god, I've got to eat and drink all the time in Grounded, or whatever survival game they're playing. It's like, that's literally the genre of it. You've got to survive. But anyway, as this, hope everyone has enjoyed, and I'll see everybody next time.